Hello students, I am Bishwanath Yadav. I have passed MSc and BSc from Tribhuvan University. I have been teaching mathematics for about 25 years in different levels. Today I would like to introduce one of the most important topics in mathematics, permutation and combination. It is helpful for the students of grade 12, CBSE students, BE entrance, JEE main, advance, in civil services and in different competitive exams all around the world. So this is one of the most important topic in mathematics, permutation and combination. So what do we mean by permutation? Permutation means arrangement and combination indicates selection. Then the question arises, arrangement of what? Selection of what? Arrangement of number, arrangements of numbers, arrangements of persons, arrangements of objects under certain condition or without condition. Arrangement may be in a straight line or arrangement may be in a circle. So if we have to arrange the numbers, we have to arrange objects or persons, that means we are doing permutation. In combination, selection of numbers, selections of numbers, selections of persons, selection of things among a certain thing. If such question is given, that means we have to find combination. So both permutation and combination are counting process. The question concerns with how many ways. In how many ways numbers can be arranged, in how many ways persons can be selected from a group of persons. These are the questions. So we have to count the objects or count the numbers. When we find the number of permutations, means number of arrangements, number of combinations, means number of selections of what? Of objects or numbers or persons, whatever we will count the objects, we will count the numbers, we will count the persons. So in counting, we have to focus on two things, addition and multiplication. So what are the ways of counting? To discuss this, I would like to introduce one example. Suppose A and B are two cities. A person wants to travel from city A to city B. Then the available means of transportation are flight, by road. A person can travel by road first, by road second. By road there are two available paths are 1 and 2. For flight, suppose we have two airlines services from city A to city B. We may suppose city A represents Kathmandu and city B Janakpur. So for flight, the airlines facilities are of both the airlines. And Sita Airlines. These two airlines are available for the flight from Kathmandu to Janakpur. And a person has three means of transportation by route. A person can travel by bus or by car or by bike from city A to city B, means from Kathmandu to Janakpur. So the question is, in how many ways a person can a person travel from Kathmandu to Janakpur? Suppose this is the example, and the question that we have taken for the example is, in how many ways can a person travel from Kathmandu to Janakpur? How we find? We will count the means of transportation. From A to B, by a flight, person can travel A to B by a flight. For flight, the person can travel by both the airlines or by Sita Airlines. So these are the two means of transportation for flight, both the air or Sita Air. So for flight there are two options. Although person can use only one, either both the air or Sita Air. But if the question is, how many flights are available from Kathmandu to Janakpur? Two flights suppose. In this question, these are both the air and Sita Air. For each road, a person can travel by bus or by car or by a bike. So in how many ways by road 1 the person can complete the journey? He can complete the journey by bus, by a car or by a bike. So total ways from A to B by road 1 is 3 different ways. And same for road 2. By road 2, second road, the person can travel by bus or by car or by a bike. So there are 3 means of transportation by road 1. and also three means of transportation: by road to bus or bike or car, by for flight two choices, either Buddha air or Sita air. And the question is, in how many different ways, in how many ways a person can travel from Kathmandu to Janakpur? We add these all means of transportation. Person can use Buddha air or Sita air. So two ways of flight. By road 1, three means of transportation. By road 2, also three means of transportation. So altogether, the means of transportation is 8. So there are 8 ways of journey from Kathmandu to Janakpur. So in this question, or refers addition. While counting the ways of journey, we are adding the means of transportation. So while counting the arrangement or selection, if choices are given, we use the word or, and for or, the algebraic operation is addition. This process of counting is called addition principle. Addition principle of counting. Addition principle of counting. Total ways of journey while finding, we are adding. Why we are adding? As we have multiple choices for the journey. Either we use Buddha air or Sita air, or we use bus or car or bike, by road first and also by road second. So we have these multiple choices, and the question is, in how many ways a person can complete the journey from Kathmandu to Janakpur? Then we add these all means of transportation, and that is the total number of ways of journey from Kathmandu to Janakpur. As we are adding for counting the ways of transportation, so this is called addition principle. When we use addition principle, if the word or has been used, when we use or, if the choices are multiple. Let us take another example. From Janakpur to Delhi, if the person has to travel, there are two paths. One is train, other is road. Again here, the person has three means of transportation: bus or car or bike, by road, to reach the city. See, suppose it is Delhi, and one train, that is express train, from Janakpur to Delhi. And the question is, in how many ways can a person travel from Janakpur to Delhi? Means here also we count the ways of transportation. All the questions in permutation and combination depends on counting. How we count? We will find what are the means of transportation, what are the ways of transportation. From Janakpur to Delhi, the person can use an express train. So one train is available. By route, three options are bus or car or a bike. So by how many ways person can travel from Janakpur to Delhi? There are four ways. One by train and three by road. So total means of transportation is four. We add these all. A person can travel by a train, one means of transportation, by bus or by car or by a bike. So total ways of journey from Janakpur to Delhi is 4. Here also we have multiple choices for the journey of Janakpur to Delhi, and these multiple choices are added while finding the total ways by which this journey can be completed. So this is called addition principle. If we have perform a task in which we have multiple choices, then the total ways by which the task can be completed will be the sum of all the ways, sum of all means of transportation. So these are 4 means of transportation from Janakpur to Delhi. So these are the 4 different ways by which the journey from Janakpur to Delhi can be completed. Let me start the third question. In the same journey, we can ask the question like this: in how many ways can a person travel from Kathmandu to Delhi via Janakpur So what is the condition of this question? Person has to travel first from Kathmandu to Janakpur, then from Janakpur to Delhi, not direct from Kathmandu to Delhi. So what are the different ways by which this journey can be completed? Here we have 2 tasks. First, from A to B and from B to C. From A to B, from B to C means from Kathmandu to Janakpur, and then from Janakpur to Delhi. As the condition is via the Janakpur, the journey has to be completed. So in how many ways person can travel from Kathmandu to Janakpur? Just we have counted by addition principle. It is 8 different ways. 3 ways by road first, 3 ways by road second, 2 ways by flight, and from Janakpur to Delhi, from B to C, 4 means of transportation. And these 2, when completed, one after another, only the journey from Kathmandu to Delhi will be completed. So these 2 are multiplied, and then the total means of ways of transportation is 32. Why we are multiplying? The question may arise. To understand this, suppose a person travel from A to B by road first, by a bus. This is one means of transportation, one means of journey from Kathmandu to Janakpur. Such there are 8 means of transportation from Kathmandu to Janakpur. So suppose by bus a person travel from Kathmandu to Janakpur. When the person reaches Janakpur, he has 4 choices for the journey from Janakpur to Delhi. One choice is express train, other choice is by road. By road, he can travel by bus or by a car or by a bike. So there are 4 choices from the journey from Janakpur to Delhi. So for each choice of A to B, Kathmandu to Janakpur, such 4 choices are available for Janakpur to Delhi. So by the unitary method, we can multiply these two to find the total wage by which the journey from Kathmandu to Delhi can be completed. For one means of transportation from A to B, there are 4 means of 4 ways by which a person can travel from Janakpur to Delhi, and total wage by which person travel from Kathmandu to Janakpur is 8. So these two are multiplied to find the total wage by which the person can travel from Kathmandu to Delhi. So if 2 processes are completed one after another, one followed by other, we use and for this we use the sign multiplication. So this is multiplication principle of counting. While counting, the word and refers multiplication. So what we observe in this example, while counting of arrangement or counting of selection, if we have multiple choices, we use OR, and for OR, the corresponding algebraic operation is addition. We use this to count the number of ways. If we count the ways in which one process completes and that is followed by the other, one after another, we use and refers multiplication. So this is called multiplication principle of counting. So these are 2 basic principles of counting, addition principle and multiplication principle. I think this example helps to understand for counting whether we use addition principle and where we use multiplication principle or both principle. If we use the symbol, we use OR for the arrangement or for selection, the algebraic operation is addition, and for OR and we are using for arrangement or for selection. If we are using and, then the corresponding algebraic operation is multiplication. These 2 operations are used in this journey, in this example, while counting the total ways to complete the journey from Kathmandu to Delhi. So this is the basic principle of counting. Most of the questions are based on this basic principle of counting. So while we count, we will never find negative number, negative integer. So in all questions related to counting, every time we get non-negative integral value. Let us take some example. I want to take example of counting of numbers. Counting of numbers. The question is, in how many ways can the numbers of two different digits be formed from 1, 2, 3 and 4? So this question is of arrangement. By arranging these numbers, we can form numbers of two digits. The digits must be different by the condition of the question. When we have to form the numbers of two different digits, we should think we have two vacant places. These vacant places are to be filled up. This is tens place and this is unit place. When we form numbers of two digits, one digit will be at unit place, other will be at tens place. For tens place, how many options we have? We have 4 options. We can fill up the tens place by 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. We have 4 choices for this tens place. We can use 1 at tens place. We can use 2 or 3 or 4. So how many ways? 4 ways. How we find 4 ways? Adding these all ways. One way, another way. So altogether there are 4 ways. We are not counting these numbers. When 1 is taken at tens place, it is 1 way. When 2 is taken at tens place, it is also 1 way. 3, 1 way. 4, 1 way of taking, filling tens place. So altogether, how many ways are available to fill up the tens place? There are 4 ways. We are using or, and just we have discussed, or refers algebraic operation addition. So this 4 is not the number 4. We are counting the ways of filling the tens place. When we fill up the tens place by any one of the digits out of these 4, suppose we have filled this tens place by the digit 1. Then for unit place, we are left with these 3 digits, as the digits must be different. So when 1 is taken at tens place, there are 3 different choices for the unit place. So unit place can be filled up in 3 ways. This is for each choice of tens place. So 4 ways for tens place and 3 ways for unit place. When these 2 places are filled up, only then the numbers of 2 digits can be formed. That's why we are using AND. So the total number of ways by which the numbers of 2 different digits can be formed is 4 into 3 ways. We are using multiplication sign and refers multiplication. In the multiplication principle of counting, just we have discussed, we multiply to count the ways. That's why the total number of ways to form the digits of numbers of 2 different digits from 1, 2, 3 and 4 is 12. Let me explain. I want to explain again in a different way. For tens place, how many options we have? The options are 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. These are the 4 ways by which tens place can be filled up. As the condition is, the numbers must be of different digit. So when 1 is taken at tens place, we cannot use again 1 for the unit place. The numbers are 1, 2, 3 and 4. So when 1 is used, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 we can use for the tens place. When 1 is used at tens place, there remains only 3 options for unit place, as we have to form numbers of 2 different digits. So at unit place, suppose we are taking 2 or 3 or 4. When we take 2, the number becomes 12. At tens place 1 and unit place 3, then the number is 13. Here the number is 14. For the choice of 2 at tens place, there are 3 choices here also for the unit place. These are 1 or 3 or 4. As we have to take different digit. At tens place 2 and unit place 1, then the number becomes 21. Here the number is 23. Here number is 24. When we take the number 3 at tens place, for this choice also, we have 3 choices for unit place. At unit place, we can take the digit 1 or 2 or 4. 3 cannot be taken. As the question is, numbers must be of different digit. So at tens place 3, unit place 1, number becomes 31, 32, 34. When 4 is taken at the tens place, for unit place, the options are 1, 2, 3. At tens place 4, unit place 1, then the number is 41, number 42, 43. So altogether 12 numbers have been formed. What are those numbers? The numbers are 12, 13, 14, 21, 23, 24, 31, 32, 34, 41, 42, 43. These are 12 different numbers having 2 different digits. 12, 1, 2 and 21. We are using the same digit, but their places are interchanged. 1, 2 in 1, 2, 1 is at tens place, 2 is at unit place. In 21, 2 is at tens place, 1 is at unit place. So these are arrangements. These are permutations of 4 numbers taking 2 at a time. So total number of arrangements here is 12. What we observe here, for each choice of tens place, for the choice of 1, there are 3 options. For the choice of 2 at tens place, these are 3 choices for unit. For the choice of 3 at tens place, these 3 numbers are choices for unit place. For the choice of 4 at tens place, these 3 are choices for the unit place. So what can we say? For each choice of tens place, there are 3 choices for the unit place. That's why these two are multiplied to find the total number of ways by which numbers of two different digits can be formed by the digits 1, 2, 3 and 4. So here we are using both addition principle of counting and multiplication principle of counting. First, for the tens place, the options are 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So total ways of filling the tens place is 4. How we find? By adding the possible ways of selecting the digit for tens place. So these are 4 ways of selection for of digit at the tens place. And for unit place, 3 ways. If we take 1, then 2, 3, 4. If we take 2, also 3 ways. So for each choice of tens place, there are 3 ways of selecting digit for unit place. So we are multiplying these two to find the total ways by which 2 vacant places can be filled up. One is tens place, other is unit place. So we multiply 12 ways. I think this example makes easier to understand addition principle and multiplication principle. Dear students, if you understand addition principle and multiplication principle of counting while using or and, please like and subscribe my YouTube channel Art of Mathematics Bishwanath Yadav, so that I could spread the concept among all the students. Please like, subscribe and share this video among your friends. Thank you.